Quiet like the attack on Pearl Harbor. That was Maybe Someday, done by Simply Red. I'm Bobby Rivers. This is VH1 Video Hits 1. Peace Train, you saw the video. We had it here on VH1. Who was in the video? 10,000 Maniacs. And who was the lead singer? Natalie Merchant. You can hear her with the Maniacs on In My Tribe. This is the LP. And I love this cover. This is such a cool looking cover. Now, Natalie Merchant is here with me. Where did you get this photo?
Archery magazine.
Archery magazine?
You should show the inner sleeve, too.
I should show the inner sleeve?
Yay! Look at it.
Okay, here, I'm holding up the inner sleeve there. Now, what's the story with the inner sleeve photo?
It's from the same magazine, but I just like the way that it exits from the sleeve.
You like the way that man has his bow pulled?
It's a woman.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't look down.
She's slightly,
yes, I guess it
slightly
is.
masculine, but...
Well, then, but who isn't?
It's so funny, a friend of, I don't know who it was, but they were saying, Natalie's such an attractive girl, but that's such an unflattering photograph of her on the inner sleeve. Mom, that's not Natalie at all.
No, but it's some other, and I'm sure this lady is probably watching. Where did the title come from? Swing Out Sister. Swing Out Sister is a trio that's out right now, and the three people could not agree on a name they liked, so they went with a name they hated, which was Swing Out Sister. Where did 10,000 Maniacs come from?
Well, we were playing a Halloween show in Jamestown, where we're from, and we'd been playing with a different name every weekend, and we figured it was a good name for a Halloween party, and we got the largest crowd ever. I think 200 people came, so we thought, well, if we change our name now, no one will know who we are next time we play. And it just escalated. Every time we played, more people came, and we kept the name.
That's pretty good. Now, what's the deal with your shoes? I mentioned Swing Out Sister. Now, Corinne wears masculine shoes, and you've got Corinne Drury, a Swing Out Sister, Diane Keaton, and you wear these big manly shoes there.
These are my dream shoes.
Your dream shoes? Those have been a big dream. Now, you had those shoes shined?
They're like my grandfather's shoes.
They're your granddad's shoes?
Well, they're like my grandfather had very large feet.
He must have been a very popular man.
I had them shined in Times Square last night because we were playing Radio City.
Uh-huh.
And I was telling the man who was shining them, and he's going, "You in the big time now, girl." and when I was finished, I felt we had a really good conversation, so I gave him a $5 bill, and he said, "No, that's $2." And I realized, well, he told me he was blind because, I don't know. And we were discussing this earlier, that I don't think American money is minted with blind people in mind, because every bill's exactly the same size, which isn't the way currency is in other countries.
But you clarified everything with him, didn't you?
Yeah, I said, that's a $5 bill. And he said, "Oh, thank."
Now, how did he say that again? Do that again for me, please.
He went, "Oh, thank you."
Oh, I like that.
He was great. He was asking me how old I was. "You sound like a teenager. You're too young to be playing Radio City. That's the big time."
Yeah.
He was really funny.
That was Natalie Merchant of 10,000 Maniacs, my new buddy. She is. I'm Bobby Rivers. This is VH1 Video Hits 1. Natalie, so how's it going? Have you done a lot of TV so far and talking about the album In My Tribe?
I did some in Europe for the first time.
How was that?
It was fun, but I had to have an interpreter.
An interpreter. You were subtitled, or somebody just spoke for you?
The interviewer would ask me the question in English, and then he'd ask me the question in German, so I'd have time to think about it or forget it by the time.
It's like being at a UN meeting.
And then I would answer it, and then he would translate. And it's funny because I remember we were talking about Los Angeles, and I kept on saying it was the monster city, and I guess you're saying Monsterstadt.
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 That's what we
and
call.
I would start giggling.
That's what we call cameraman John. Monsterstadt. For different reasons. Now, why to you is Los Angeles the monster city?
Well, the eruption, of the ground lately, kind of.
That's been something. By the way, if that happens during this broadcast, you immediately get under my desk. All right?
It's really horrible because I have a friend who, some friends that we just played with in a band called Downy Mildew. They're a really great band. Another band with a horrible name.
Downy Mildew.
Yeah, just like us. And their practice space collapsed with all their equipment in it. And we just finished a tour with them, and they went home and found.
Were any of the Mildews maimed, or?
No, they were at their home, but
that's
everything.
good.
But anyway, the thing about Los Angeles is just so vast and overwhelmingly
Big.
It's so huge.
It's so huge. It's so huge.
And I don't like cars. And I don't like, the first night I was ever in Los Angeles, I saw a car flipped over on the freeway. And that just did it for me.
You never saw that here in New York?
I I'd seen cars flipped over maybe in snowstorms, but never just, and the fact that people were driving by anyway at 75 miles an hour, and there were bodies in the road, and that's my greatest horror, especially when touring. I try to sleep all the time because I'm afraid we'll crash.
So you don't like to travel in vehicles?
No.
So how do you get around?
That's how I have to do it. But
you have to do it.
I said I sleep.
You're not like a band of gypsies and just like in a wagon.
I can feel the velocity of the vehicle, and I start thinking, well, my mother broke her back in a car accident, so ever since then I'm just really nervous.
A little bit leery about that. But you like music videos, and you like nylons? The nylons.
Nylon?
Yeah, the nylon. Okay, you read this. Read that.
Do I like nylons?
I'm sure you do. But here are the nylons doing Happy Together.
Is that the old Turtle song?
That's the old Turtle song. And it's going to be redone with a new, they sing a cappella. You know that?
Oh, no, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, well, watch. Just over there.
Love songs, ballads, and slow dancing.
Doing Happy Together, the old Turtles hit. I'm Bobby Rivers. This is VH1 Video Hits One. I'm with Natalie Merchant of 10,000 Maniacs. They've done Peace Train, done a lot of good tunes on this album, In My Tribe. There it is with a little photo from Archery Magazine. We know that because Natalie told us so earlier tonight. Now, you have a tune on here called Scorpio Rising.
No, you don't.
No, you don't? Don't you? Or,
that was on the
that's on the
Wishing Shed, which is a good topic to bring up. We do have another album.
You do have another album, and that was what
we
I
released
guess
2 years ago on
Okay, I just have my gosh, I just experienced trans-channeling right here. So that was a previous album, Scorpio Rising. Now you performed that tune in a leather bar somewhere,
well, in Jamestown there's a club called the Beehive, and it was a big hangout for the Pagans and Midnight Brotherhood, which are the two rival gangs in Jamestown. They're pretty much old beer-guzzling leather guys, but they can get
That's what I call them when I meet them. You're just a bunch of old beer-guzzling leather guys.
Well, they can get frightening sometimes. They do carry knives and all that. But we had a...
Now, what are the names of these two groups again?
The Pagans.
The Pagans.
And Midnight Brotherhood.
And the Midnight Brotherhood.
Actually,
and you're in a joint with them.
The leader of the Midnight Brotherhood had twin daughters, Shirley and Sharon Faison, and they hated me in third grade. They would threaten to kill me after school. And they were really horrified. They said, "We're going to get our daddy after you."
Well, it's good to have a gig, though, isn't it?
We'd borrow films from the local library.
What kind of films, Natalie?
Black and white films. And
you would show these films to these biker people to calm them down?
No, we just happened to think it was funny if we'd play the Kenneth Anger film Scorpio Rising, which is all about parallels, just gang. It's really strange. So the story I hear is that the gang is called the Scorpions, and for some reason Kenneth made this documentary about the biker gang, and then he sent it to be edited, and for some reason all these clips of a 1940s version of the life of Jesus Christ got spliced in it, a color version, so just the parallel, and then he put all these 60s pop songs to it. I love him, I love him, I love him, and there he goes. It's a bizarre film, but there's Jesus walking through the lilies in the field, and then there's this biker putting on his leather jacket and cracking open a beer first thing in the morning, and the bikers really liked it.
They did?
Yeah.
Did you take any more films to them? Like, you take any Judy Garland movies?
A Salvador Dali film that night, and there was a Charlie Chaplin film.
A Charlie Chaplin movie. Did they like that? Or
we just took anything that was available.
Did they complain about the sound?
They went in the other room when the Charlie Chaplin film came on, but they really like Scorpio Rising.
Well, they missed something because he did good films. Listen, do you have a Visa card?
I don't have any plastic.
You don't have any plastic at all?
No.
Okay, well, all you have to do is get an application and fill it out. And say, occupation, put 10,000 Maniacs. And you can get a Visa card. Now, that Visa card could enable you to get good seats to good concerts. And all you have to do is call up the Visa VH1 ticket hotline. And it's going to appear magically on the screen.
The screen or that screen?
On that screen, that TV screen right there, okay? Okay, so you're going to find out how to get good seats to good concerts with the VH1 ticket hotline. Watch this,
I want to
Natalie.
see Judy.
Tickets for...
By DeBarge, I am Bobby Rivers with my guest for this hour, Natalie Merchant of 10,000 Maniacs. Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions. One, the name of the album is In My Tribe. Whose idea was the title of the album?
It was mine.
And where'd you get the title from? Just came up from right there?
Well, after I designed the package, too, with all the archers, it seemed appropriate. I've been a thing about titles. I name everything about 50 times. I had a list of 20 titles, and I typed them up and had Xerox sheets, and then we had a voting session. And one was Bow Toward Mecca. That was almost the title, but I don't know. There's also You Happy Puppets was another contender.
You Happy Puppets.
And they didn't have anything to do with archery, so we chose In Their Tribe.
Oddly enough, You Happy Puppets was going to be the title of CBS's Jake and the Fat Man, starring William Conrad. But that title is still up for grabs, I take it. Now you have a cut on here called Lilydale.
No, that's from the other album too.
Well, what album am I looking at here? Now, why did I see all of these songs
Because
downstairs?
we talked about them before. Oh, they were on the CD of
They
the
were on the
Wishing
CD.
Show
Okay,
that
well
came
that's
out.
where. Okay, well now can we talk about Lilydale for a minute? Lilydale is a place that I heard of. It's in upstate New York, and it's like a mecca for spiritualists.
Yeah, it's the oldest spiritual community in America.
And do you go there?
Hmm. It's only 10 miles from where I live.
Do you have? Do you consult mediums?
I think it's interesting. Yeah, it's really a fun ritual to go through. I don't know how much I believe in it, but I suppose I'm so superstitious that I sometimes will carry through on their advice. They usually don't predict my future, but they sometimes have an influence over it.
Would you really want? We have a friend of the family who is a medium, and I would say I wouldn't want my future predicted. I always want it to be a surprise. You know, not let's say it's like some impending doom, like I'm going to be locked in an elevator with an insurance salesman or something like that. You know, it's just like I'll try to like be civil and go about it in my own fashion. Would you want to know the future?
Well, it's strange because I always go in tandem with a friend of mine. We go together and then we compare notes afterward, and we'll decide, is it a quack? Yeah, she's a quack. There's a few that we've come out and it's just like, phew, let's get out of here. And but there's this trend that the mediums always say, oh, you're sitting in the chair of glory, and there's a golden ring is being handed to you, and all these great things. They always tell Mary, let's not talk about it. Okay, it's bleak and we don't want to discuss it.
Do they tell you anything you don't already know?
The one bizarre thing that I had happen was this woman described, I asked her to talk to my grandparents for me, and she was saying that she couldn't because there was this noise. And she described the exact same noise that my grandfather went nearly deaf from this factory that made crescent wrenches. Chikoom, chikoom, chikoom. And she kept on making that noise. And I thought that was interesting.
So Natalie, good luck with the album. How's your love life, quickly? Is it okay?
My love life? Non-existent.
Not existent? Well, you want to move into my inner city love shack?
Inner city love shack.
Yeah, it'll be you, me, Carly Simon, and Annie Lennox. Okay, we'll give you a new name, Cremora. Okay?
We'll go to a restaurant.
We'll go to okay. So she won't move into my inner city love shack, but we're going to go out to dinner. Natalie Merchant, you take care of yourself. Let me hold up the album, even though I named tunes that aren't on this LP, but some good tunes are. In My Tribe, 10,000 Maniacs. You know what's coming up next? Slow Dancing.
By whom?
By VH1, Video Hits One.
Oh.
So it's like Slow Dancing, yeah, by Mozart. Okay, so watch it. It's coming up next, and play it safe, be kind, and God bless, all right? All right?
Okay, same for you.
Okay, do I look at the camera and say goodbye?
Play safe.
No, just say goodbye. Just say good night, Gracie. I'll see you tomorrow.